And welcome to In Touch. Joining us this morning, we have Tony Zur from Redfield here to talk about the annual Musicians Reunion, which takes place at the Brown County Fair at Centennial Village. Tony, how you doing this morning?
Pretty good.
Thank you very much for the time. We appreciate it. Tony, before we get into the real details about the Musicians Reunion, just briefly tell us what it is, where it is, and when is it exactly?
Well, it started back in, I think it was 1995 by a guy named Hank Bowker, and it's out at the Centennial Village out at the Brown County Fair. It used to be every Friday, Saturday, but they took a couple years off, and they didn't know if anybody was going to pick it back up until I did back in 2014. So it moved to Thursday nights because they got the weekend covered. And it's just a bunch of guys who've been playing in the area together for the last 40, 50 years and stuff, and they just get back together every year to play some of those old tunes and stuff.
So the event will actually be Thursday night of the Brown County Fair?
Correct.
And what time does it run to?
I believe they said it goes from 7 to midnight this year, because I'm not running it this year. I ran it the last 3 years. I did my trilogy. And we thought that last year was going to be the last one because I was the only one that was doing it. But a really good guy named Scott Grote is going to do it this one last year for the 20th.
And that's what I was going to get at is, I imagine you kind of like where the reunion is, seeing as that you were the one that picked it back up, but, you've been able to step away because someone else has stepped up to make sure it happens again.
Yeah, I was, it was getting harder and harder to pull all those guys together because they're all over the country and some of them have passed away. And so I just kind of said last year, I was like, well, let's just hang it up after this year because I didn't know if I was even going to be in town. But Scott decided to pick it back up for one last year. He lives out in Rapid. And he's actually going to be moving somewhere else after the summer as well because he retired. So everything is just kind of up in the air after this year again, but it's the 20th, and so I'm saying it'd be done.
Well, but the point is, though, that this is just a really great opportunity for those who are fans of live music to, hear local artists play, I think, covers that they would enjoy, correct?
Absolutely, and that's the thing is it's free. Not much at the Brown County Fair is free anymore, which I completely understand. But, it's free live music, and they play everything from country to Grateful Dead to, anything and everything that they can pretty much drum up from the old days. So it's a really, really good time. My favorite night of the year. Are
you going to be performing this year? I know you have performed in the past.
Yeah, I usually get up for, 3 to 5 songs or something like that. I like to let the older generation kind of take over and do their thing and stuff. It's just, I've been doing it since 1997. I've been going out there since 1997 with my dad and my uncle, and they play in it every year. Dan Zur and Tim Zur. And then my other uncle, Gary Lippert, also plays out there and stuff. So it's just fun for me because it's nostalgia. But, I get up and play a few tunes, and this year I don't know if I'm going to have a babysitter, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to be immersed in it as I have been, but I'm going to be out there, and it's going to be a good time.
So if somebody wanted to take part in this reunion, can they still do that? If somebody had a, guitar and maybe had played in years past and would like to get up and play some tunes and whatnot?
Yeah, you would just have to come and talk to me or Scott Grote, and, one of us will get you up on stage if you know something. We just stress that, make sure that you know something. Because we have had a couple times where people gotten up there and they were a little bit inebriated and they didn't really know anything. They just wanted to get up there. So we kind of have to to make sure that everybody can play. But yeah, we would love to have any new musicians come up and play. And that's another thing is, if young guys wanted to keep this thing going and stuff, it would be amazing, but it's hard because not a lot of people just jam out covers anymore,
Well, and that's why, for a lot of people maybe who are local artists and whatnot, and they haven't been to this before, they should go check it out because the torch, it sounds like, needs to be passed to, I'm sure there are local guys that would still come play in years hence, but you could start new traditions, if you were to come out and get things going.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I have this picture in my head of people getting up there and playing, quote unquote, the classics, and they're playing, Green Day, and stuff like that. Whereas right now they're playing classics by J.J. Cale and Eric Clapton and stuff like that. But the newer generation popped up there and they wanted to, they played Green Day and Nirvana and stuff like that. That'd be really cool to see it kind of progress even a couple more decades.
Well, my dad would always say that they're never going to stop playing those tunes that are, quote, oldies now. So we may never get away from that, but you're absolutely right. Once again, we have Tony Zur here with the Musicians Reunion, which will take place Thursday of the Brown County Fair at Centennial Village. We'll talk more about that and Centennial Village as a whole. That's coming up next on In Touch. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to In Touch. Again, joining us this morning, Tony Zur. He is here to talk about the 20th Musicians Reunion, which will take place at the Brown County Fair at Centennial Village on Thursday of the Brown County Fair. And again, Tony, tell us the times that the event runs towards.
Yeah, it's on August 17th, right? Yep, August 17th. From 7 p.m. until midnight, I believe is what they said.
Yeah, and that was something that I kind of wanted to address was that, this is your chance to check out live music. I mean, just basically all evening long. So your entertainment, if you're not going to check out, one of the concerts at the Brown County Fair or even after the concert is over on Thursday, Centennial Village is the place to be.
Yeah, it is. And I heard that they have the beer gardens have live music and stuff, so there's live music all over the place, which is great. And and any time that you can go and catch free live music, and honestly, like Centennial Village, the prices there are not that bad for beverages as well as food, and they have some excellent food out there.
Well, and that was something that I was going to mention, just that I know when I got to my first Brown County Fair 6 years ago, I don't even think I knew that you could go party and enjoy Centennial Village in that way. I thought it was just to go walk through, see the old sites and everything like that. Centennial Village was once, I think, maybe the best kept secret at the fair, and I don't think that's the case anymore. People know that that's a place to check out if you want entertainment and drinks and things like that.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times, everything else in the park closes, and so. It's really cool because Centennial Village stays open for, until midnight or 1, until bar hours pretty much close. And so it's a really, really good, good thing to have people because, yeah, like you said, people just kind of walk by and like, oh, there's stuff going on in there. Let's go check it out. And it's my favorite place to be. I want my ashes spread there.
Very good. So let's keep talking about the Musicians Reunion here specifically. Who are these artists that are going to be performing specifically?
Gosh, this year since Scott Grote took over, I don't know who he's invited. I had a list of people that I threw to him, and so I'm.
Who are they? Who are they, though? I guess rather in general. Then these are guys who and gals too that have been playing music across Northeast South Dakota for decades, right?
Yeah, and Hank Bowker, he's in the guy that originally started it, and he pops out there every once in a while to hear the music and stuff. He's in the South Dakota Musicians Hall of Fame for all of his work and stuff from back in the 50s and stuff like that. But yeah, 50s all the way up, through the 90s, because my dad comes out there and plays, and I think his last band in the area was 95 to 97, something like that. So it's older guys from years gone by in the Aberdeen area that are still just as phenomenal as they always have been.
This is the 20th Musicians Reunion, and you have expressed that its future is somewhat in doubt. People are trying to step up to make sure this continues to happen. You kind of I guess brought it out of retirement. Would love to see a younger generation step up and try to keep something going like that. In your mind, why is it important that the younger generation of musicians and artists in Northeast South Dakota in our area strive to keep traditions like this going?
Well, in my personal opinion, I think that music has come to a point where there's a lot more ego to it these days than there was back in the day. Because back in the 70s, not everybody was making music, and now today everybody's making music, and so it's nice to see the camaraderie between the guys, and and see the old friendships come back. Like a couple years ago, I got my dad's old band Heartbeat, or no, it wasn't Heartbeat. It was Little Debbie and the Snack Cakes. I got them all together except for one member. One of those guys hasn't been back to the area in 30 years. And so it was really cool just to see them all get on stage again and play some of their old tunes and stuff again. And it's just really, really cool to see, musicians, young and old, get together and just say, hey, let's just go have fun. It's not about money. It's not about ego. Let's just go and play some music, and let's just relive what it felt like to play music for the love of playing music again.
And again, this will be Thursday, August 17th, and free of charge as well.
Yep, you just got to, if you're planning on drinking, then, you have to get a wristband and stuff like that. But otherwise, my kids run around there. It's kind of, pretty much fun for the whole family. And there's lots of stuff for the kids to check out and do. And there's an old train car there that my kids love to go and check out and stuff. So yeah, it's a really, really cool multi-aging kind of a place. So
excellent. Once again, Tony Zur with the Musicians Reunion. Again, that will be August 17th of the Brown County Fair. Tony, thank you so much for the time this morning. We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on once again, and I appreciate everybody that comes out to see the reunion and just to have a good time. Like I said, it's my favorite night of the year, so anybody that comes out there is completely welcome.
That's going to do it for today's edition of In Touch, a locally produced feature of Dakota Broadcasting Radio. I'm Adam St. Paul.